Lots of talk surrounds Seth Rollins and the Night of Champions 2015 show, whether, him versus John Cena for the United States Championship or him versus Sting is going to be the real main event. What's going to go on last? Do you want to value the United States Championship over the WWE Championship, which has a longer sort of meaning, a longer sort of reign? John Cena is, the poster boy of the company, even though since WrestleMania 31, he's taken a backseat role, and pushed guys like Rusev and Kevin Owens and sort of really built up that mid-card and really built up the United States Championship. I know that one of the things that Cena was trying to do was bring life into the United States Championship, but honestly, in my mind, I know that you're trying to build that belt up to the point where it means something, because for years, whoever held that belt, it just meant that you were going to be losing on Mondays and Thursdays on Raw and SmackDown, and then you would find a way to keep your championship every month at the pay-per-view. That's basically all that the Intercontinental and the United States title meant for anything. The WWE always thought that you were, making stars by having them, surprisingly beat somebody on Raw or SmackDown, building up to a pay-per-view match, and then, they lost. They weren't able to get it done. Tons of guys, winning, non-title matches and things like that. And to me, honestly, how you build stars and how you make new stars is by giving them big moments on big matches. I mean, people will remember Raws here and there along the way, but people always remember pay-per-views. Maybe it's because people don't really have time to watch the TV week in and week out. And maybe if they're watching it live, it's something that really sticks to them because you remember where you were when this thing sort of happens. But the pay-per-views have always stuck into WWE's, fans' minds of something that you need to see. I know lots of people that have the WWE network, and that's all they watch. They sit down, they watch the pay-per-view, and then they don't turn the network on again until the next month, and that's just the way it's going to be. For Cena, he got a Raw deal. He basically had the win in the bag at SummerSlam. He should have became 16-time, World Heavyweight Champion. He should have been a double champion at that, keeping his United States title. But instead he lost it because of Jon Stewart from The Tonight Show coming and running in and doing a run-in. From there, they went right into Sting versus Rollins as being the main match. They treated that like it was the main event because it was for the WWE Championship. Cena basically got this rematch because of a technicality by coming in and saying, hey, you Authority, you said that all the titles would be on the line. Rollins is fighting for the WWE Championship against Sting. I understand that. He's a legend, all this, that, and the other, but nobody's fighting for that U.S. title, so I'm going to use my rematch clause, and we're going to have this match at Night of Champions. And Stephanie pretty much had her back against the wall and said, yeah, I guess if you want your match, you can have it. Even though, the Authority is behind Rollins, and, there was nothing that they could do. They couldn't talk Cena out of this one. So they're going to get in the ring at Night of Champions. They're going to do it again. United States Championship is the only belt that's on the line for Cena. I honestly could see Cena winning his belt back to sort of get a win over Rollins. But at the end of the day, I think if you want to make Rollins, you have Rollins beat Cena yet once again. You always can roll this into, pushing them at Hell in the Cell, in October. Somebody's got to be in there, and I don't really see them, unless you put, like, the triple threat of, like, Ambrose, Rollins, and Roman in the Cell to sort of finish off all of the feuds that these guys have. That's about the only match that I can draw up to put into Hell in the Cell, unless you're just going to scratch the name and just call it another show, even though probably they've printed up the tickets and the t-shirts and programs and everything that they're going to sell along the way. So this has to be the main event of Hell in the Cell. It's probably going to be the only match in the Cell that I can think of, unless you're going to put Rusev and Ziggler in there with their soap opera storyline. I'm not sure, unless you're going to start off a feud in there, and that never works out well. But I'll pick Rollins to get the win. I think that, him beating both guys, means more to him becoming more established champion and getting more hated, and, that's just about it. I pick Rollins to win. WWE pulled off a really smart move, putting Sting in the Night of Champions 2015 show. Honestly, in my mind, this pay-per-view, without Sting, just having Cena versus Rollins as a main event, doesn't live up to the hype that what it is. Bringing in a guy into WWE that we haven't seen since WrestleMania and never seen before since then. I mean, even when they used the cheap tactics of Sting wrestling for the first time ever on Monday Night Raw, it added a whole lot of importance to that Raw going up against the NFL. And even though the match that was being plugged for the whole 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, Sting versus the Big Show 1-on-1, never really took place because of an interfering Rollins taking advantage of having Sting in the ring and making it 2-on-1 before John Cena came running down to make the save. Gave a real special feeling to what was going down, and seeing Sting actually wrestle a real match on, I guess you could basically say free TV, even though it's cable television, and you're paying to see the USA Network, really was a good tactic. I don't know how many of these people are going to be going to the WWE Network, ordering the network and making sure they're seeing Night of Champions. I'm guessing that there isn't going to be that much of a real big bump, but at least it didn't give people a reason to dump the WWE Network early, because SummerSlam was last month. You didn't really have anything that looked that appealing for this month, and I'm sure there's some people out there who paying $10 a month for the WWE Network might make or break their budget. It's just the way some people out there live. But Sting coming in, you had to sort of disband your disbelief, a lot like you had to do with the Undertaker storyline, which Undertaker versus Brock was at SummerSlam this year. It didn't really make a lot of sense that Undertaker would return and be so ferocious after his streak being ended, even though he wrestled at WrestleMania 31 against Bray Wyatt. Something they didn't like to bring up along the fact, WWE has never, not talked about the fact that Sting wrestled Triple H at WrestleMania 31. That match ended up being a match within a match, ended up turning into basically being the Monday Night War relived with DX versus the NWO. Everyone getting involved in this match, Triple H nailing Sting in a sledgehammer right in the middle of the ring and getting the 1-2-3, then picking Sting up, giving him a hug and shaking his hand, which Sting accepted. So why he would go home after WrestleMania and sit on this for April, May, June, July, and August, and then show up for Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam and decide, hey, I'm going to go fuck with the Authority again. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's just the way that it played out. He stole the statue, replaced the statue, build up of the whole match as, hey, where's my statue? Where's my statue? Sting finally threw it in the trash, and now Rollins is going to be going out and trying to get retribution for losing the title. I don't think, or not losing the title, losing the statue. I don't think there's any chance in hell in my mind that Sting wins the WWE Championship, but there is a little piece of doubt in there. I remember watching the Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match a few months ago, and it's basically saying Ambrose isn't made out to be WWE Champion. He'll be lucky if he ever wins the Intercontinental title, and it's just the way that I see him. And I don't know, when that match was going down and I was watching it, and Rollins fucked up on the top rope, and then next thing you know, Ambrose in slow motion pretty much hit the dirty deeds, and then hit the 1, 2, and I was just like, that was like the longest 2 to 3 count, and I was just like, wow, he really did it. And I smiled, and I was happy for Ambrose, and he got his moment in the sun, posing with the championship, and then finally the ref awoke from his slumber on the side of the ring, and he got in there and said, whoa, 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 I don't know what that ref was doing, but I'm the referee of this match, and this is a disqualification because he got messed up by Rollins, who took advantage of him in the corner. And, Ambrose lost the championship, even though the storyline was that he stole the championship, and he kept it for a few weeks in order to get himself a rematch. But I just think that Sting's here for 1 month. It'd be fun to see him as champion, but I don't think they're going to relive the mistake of having somebody come in as a nostalgia act and putting the WWE Championship on him. When you think about nostalgia acts, when you think about Ric Flair and Roddy Piper in, I believe, 2006, winning the tag titles from the Spirit Squad was enough of a believability as tag champs, that you could have them lose a match, just some returning legends, and it didn't really hurt them in the long run. But Rollins has been building himself as a real major heel. Him losing to a guy which is in his 50s, I'm sure that he'll go out there, he'll sell for him, they'll have a good match. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, Sting won his 6 championships in WCW, but that was a long time ago, man. And we're going to have to see. I think definitely Rollins is the guy to have a match with Sting, and it's going to be a good one. It'll be fun. We'll see what goes down. Like I said, I got this little piece in the back of my mind saying maybe Sting might be able to do it. But maybe even be able to say 98% of me says there's no chance in hell Rollins is losing this title to Sting.